Republicans are looking to recruit 50,000 so-called poll watchers to intimidate voters. Now, they say that they want to go to these polling locations, specifically in swing states, in order to ensure that voter fraud isn't taking place. But make no mistake, this is the type of activity that the GOP had engaged in decades ago, and several federal courts had handed down rulings to basically stop Republicans, the Republican Party, from violating the voting rights of other people. So the Republican program that I'm speaking of today actually envisions recruiting up to 50,000 volunteers in 15 key states to monitor polling places and challenge ballots and voters deemed suspicious. This is part of a $20 million plan that also allots millions to challenge lawsuits by Democrats and voting rights advocates seeking to loosen state restrictions on balloting. Now, there was a court order vacated by federal courts back in 2018, and that's super relevant to what we're experiencing today, because that court order basically would have prevented the GOP from doing what it's planning to do with these so-called poll watchers. Now, the court actually had to make all these rulings in the past. I want to give you a little rundown of that. The court ban on Republican Party voter fraud operations was imposed in 1982 and then modified in 1986 and again in 1990, each time after courts found instances of Republicans intimidating or working to exclude minority voters in the name of preventing fraud. The party was found to have violated it yet again in 2004. So if you happen to live in a swing state and you're planning on going to a polling location to vote, just know that there's a possibility that you could run into people like this, and don't let them intimidate you, because that's the whole reason why they're there.
Yeah. My hope is that all it is an attempt to intimidate. The issue is that when you try to get 50,000 people to do this specific thing, you are probably going to draw people who like the idea of intimidating certain types of people. And so I worry that if you dispatch them all over the place, you're going to have incidents. You're going to have potentially violence, because you're going to have an overrepresentation of the sort of people that's what they think is missing from their life, is that sort of thing. It shouldn't be allowed. I couldn't say more about how much it sucks that it is allowed. If you see it, I would just try to ignore them. Understand that there are still limitations on what they can do, exactly where they can be, and that sort of thing. And again, I'll give the answer that I give to every issue like this. It is insane that the Democrats have largely just surrendered on issues of substantive American democracy, that you get to have this constant decades-long war from the Republican Party, and you have some good, nonprofits and stuff like that are trying to do the right thing to register people and expand access to the vote, but that you don't have anything like the sustained campaign that the Republicans have had. No response to it.
Yeah, look, that's one of the reasons why I want to focus on this story a little more up until the election, because if the Democratic Party isn't going to fight this as aggressively as they need to, I'm hoping that by informing voters, they'll understand what to expect, and maybe we can brainstorm and think of ways to kind of mitigate what Republicans are trying to do now. But honestly, when you think about it, one of the biggest issues here is that when you have a Republican president who gets to nominate federal judges, well, he's going to choose federal judges. We're going to vote in or rule in a way that he's going to like. And that's why it's such an issue to, even if we get Trump out of office, the damage that he's done to our courts in appointing all of these federal judges it will be long lasting, right? Mm-hmm. So regardless of what Democrats would like to do, legally speaking, the federal courts have vacated previous, rulings, court orders that would have limited what the GOP is going to do. This is why the courts matter. And it's incredibly important to consider, let's say, Supreme Court nominees when deciding who to vote for in an upcoming election. So again, just know what to expect. Democratic organizations, including the voting rights organization founded by Stacey Abrams, plans to send their own poll watchers to these swing states. I mean, I wish I felt better hearing that or reading that, but I don't want any type of violent situation to break out, because people should feel safe and comfortable casting their votes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just was super fast. I mean, like looking at the protests, like you can't, it is seemingly impossible in recent years to get together a right-wing sort of effort like this and not have it attract, crazy extremist, separatists, anti-Semites, racists. Like, look at the signs that you're seeing and all that. Look at how ready people are to strap, an AR-15 to their back or whatever, and then get in someone's face. And especially in Michigan, like they shut down a session of the legislature through the threat of political violence. And I'm not saying that that's the exact sort of people that the Republicans are hypothetically going to be looking for. But when those people hear that what the right needs is people to hang out near polling places, like, you don't think they're going to have stuff like that in Michigan as well?
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.